Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Dan.
This is the Board Game Rundown. Today we are going to review Mountains Out of Molehills by the Op. That's not, they did, the Op made the game, they didn't design it. Anyways, this plays 2 to 4 players, like an hour, I believe is what it says. And I would say that's accurate.
45 to 60 minutes,
Yeah.
Yep.
And then what? 9 and up.
9 and up.
Yeah. So not like, this is definitely very family, kid friendly. This is a programming game at its heart. The really interesting thing about this is that you've got like this dual layered, dual level board, right?
That's more. That's beyond dual layer. Yeah.
But what's cool is you're programming your movement because you're these moles underground, you know, digging around and moving, and then as you're doing that, you're burrowing up, you're pushing up these molehills out of the ground, right? So when you move under a space, you take one of your colored molehills and then you put it underneath, and because controlling the molehill is being at the bottom, which is going to allow you to score a point for like each
hill underneath.
Yeah.
I think the comparison you made earlier, like think like Looney Tunes, right? They're tunneling under the ground.
Yeah,
the ground
Bugs Bunny, right?
Yeah.
You see the ground coming up.
Tremors.
Tremor, sure.
Bit more on theme.
Or my yard. That is my yard.
Oh, jeez.
Also true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically you're gonna draft 4 cards like out of a pool, and then you're going to decide on what order you want those to happen. When you're done, you put your little piece on top of that, and then you're just basically in player order. You're gonna flip your card over, and if you can do it, you will do
the
it.
appropriate move.
It could be moving 1 or 2 or 3 spaces forward. It could be turning left or right. It could be flipping around backwards. There is the stone card. So if you play that, there's a stone token. You roll the die. You place the stone token anywhere you want on the board that's empty, and then you roll the die, and it's going to have basically a directional arrow. So when a mole walks into that thing, he is then going to he's going to spend a movement walking into it, and then the rest of his move will go in whatever direction the rock spins him in.
Yep.
There is the topple mechanic, which is pretty neat. So if you get the topple card, your mole basically pops his head up out of the ground to look around. So that creates like a new molehill, and then you pick a direction orthogonally, and your molehill falls over your mountain, and then all your bits go right on top. So the purpose of this is you're making some stacks bigger, which could give you more points. The other thing is when you're determining like player order, you're going to count how many of your molehills are on the top. So the player with the most on the top gets to pick.
Right.
What turn order they go in.
What turn order they go in.
Because the points in the game are based on who's on bottom. So it's like a semi-catch-up mechanic to where player order is on top. Because if you have more on top, you probably have less on bottom, meaning you are doing worse in the game. In general, that is not always the case.
Can confirm.
Yep.
Right. We came in last. We constantly had the most on the top.
Right.
Yep.
Can confirm.
But I
they
did
kept
not
on
come
scoring
in
to go
first.
Bottom. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I thought it was funny though, because it wasn't really working for you, but you kept choosing to go first anyway.
Yeah, we did.
You're right. 6 rounds later, you're like, it's not working, buddy. I'm gonna try it again though. This time, I got a good feeling about it.
Well, and like you said, 6 rounds. So this game plays in 6 rounds. It goes relatively quickly. I think the hard part sometimes it might be like earlier in the draft when there's a bunch of cards to pick from. Maybe you're trying to decide, and you can assign them once you've got your 4 cards. You can put them in whatever order you want.
You don't have to draft them in the order you want to play.
Oh.
Correct. But once you put that stack down and you say I'm good,
you're done.
You're done. There's no moving them. So there were times, right, where we all were kind of stuck. I think everybody got stuck at least once or twice.
Everybody
right?
got stuck at least once.
Where you're just like you're walking into somebody and you can't do anything.
Sure.
That's the beautiful thing about program movement. You never know when that's going to happen. Then all of a sudden, you guys both go the same direction. You're like, oh, gosh darn it. You know, and you're like stuck on each other.
No, you move.
No, they're polite. No, after you. No, after you.
It's just a lot of that.
Instead they just stand there while I run around and get points.
So components-wise, this
is bad. Pretty badass.
Yeah, there's a lot of table presence to this, right? The board looks really good. I think the lines, Spencer made a comment, and I agree with him. I think the lines on the underground could be just marked a little
darker,
clearer.
Yeah.
But again, it's a little bit of a nitpick because they do a nice job of gridding.
Yep.
Yeah, it's literally just a 1-inch grid. I didn't have a problem with I like the cool little cave drawings, but I mean, sure, there's no harm in them being a little darker.
I'd like to point out these are 2-sided. You flip them over for the 2-player.
Right, for the smaller player count. You
Is
flip
this
it,
just sitting on top?
Yep. Are you seriously going to lift that?
I want to show this off.
Sure.
But Okay, well,
Okay, there we go.
It's cool. We already counted.
I just
so we're
want, you
good.
know, you guys should see it.
Oh, see, so that's
just
for a smaller
smaller.
player count, and so the same thing with
Right.
this, right? It flips
Okay.
over similar.
Nice.
And then this is, you know, what they were talking about is these kind of designs here.
Yeah.
And it's
on
fine.
this.
It was just like I get a little bit closer and I can see the delineation, like from where we were. Not the end of the world. Not a
Right.
real complaint. Not anything I would dock it on, right?
While we're on components,
stuff.
I just wanted to say this look, when you first explained it to me, it made me think of it. And seeing it here, this is exactly how Chopper Strike works.
Yeah,
board-wise.
exactly.
It has
Yeah.
the 4 things holding it up here with the 2
Yep.
boards. Chopper Strike is a fantastic old game that I literally sent it into Restoration Games as like you guys should remake this like and upgrade the rules a bit because I just think it's an awesome version of 2-layer chess is really all it is. And so this is a very similar thing, very cool spatial elements and stuff. I will say, I guess this is on components, but while I'm talking about it, having something where the top also interacts with the bottom would be really cool. That's how Chopper Strike works, right? With the double, they interact with each other, but like
This is a one way.
exactly, the bottom interacts with the top. The top doesn't really interact with the bottom, which is totally fine. But it would be cool if like an expansion comes out. Eventually, it's like construction equipment, and like
sure.
you know, you like slide an entire row, right? Like take the last one off, and it goes on the other end because like they're like digging and stuff and like moving the ground around top, and then that's like
Something
affecting
like
stuff.
that.
Something that makes the top affect the bottom somehow. That's just an idea I literally just came up with. But yeah, anyway, I love this look and this system. These things hold together.
Yeah, they
Super
stick out
nicely.
Yeah, they do really well.
Which you got to like lift them up to put stuff on bottom a lot. So we were really glad that these weren't like too loose, that they were
Yeah.
falling off and stuff. These
Correct.
they hold together nicely, but they don't like
They're
get
not
stuck, right? Which is
Right.
really nice.
It's a good
Right.
mix.
And then yeah, Bob, we asked you about the colors at the beginning.
Yep. Yeah, they're,
Bob is colorblind.
Yep. So, but they're easy to distinguish from each other. It was funny because like, well, this one looks kind of gray, and they're like, yeah, that's gray. I'm like, okay, good. But yeah, you could easily tell them apart, so it was no big deal doing that. And then all the actual acrylic standees are all different, so that was easy to
Right.
tell.
And
Yes.
there are
Uh,
colors
the
on the bases.
There
and,
are.
And so let's just say, like, oh, I don't want to be yellow. Like, I want to be green, but I like being this mold.
Oh,
like,
sure.
You can
Sure.
change
Yeah,
that if
you did
want,
force
right?
our moles on us, which I didn't really
did.
appreciate.
Yeah.
I did
but-
do that. I did it based
Probably
on
why
your
Dan
color.
lost.
Did it based on
that's accurate.
on the color of
Yeah.
molehills.
The
that you guys
cards are
picked.
fine quality. I mean, you just stack 4 and you flip them and program them.
Yeah,
so,
and the
you know.
iconography is very clear,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all
Turn
very
this way, turn that way.
simple
Move
and
rock.
obvious.
I like that you can do the move before or after your
Yeah.
Right.
action. Is
That's
nice.
very nice. Freedom that you
And
don't
the
always
rock
get.
is not necessarily a bad thing. You get
Correct.
to
Right, I was
move.
planning on taking advantage of it on that last round, and then Tim was like, "I'll just stand right in front of you."
But how are you doing? What's going on over here?
Nothing.
But,
Bob's over there winning.
A simple little score sheet worked really nice. And then Tim, how was the rule book? It seemed fine.
The rule book was really good. It was
Yeah.
really straightforward and clear. Things are in a nice order.
Square.
There's no like rules summary, but I don't know that you need it because there's just a lot of it's.
Like
I mean,
a
it's
round
just
summary.
a lot of pictures
Yeah.
and a lot of nice explanations of things. But I feel like it's really pretty clear and does a good job of explaining the game. I don't think there was ever any time
Pull the
where
board out first.
we had to like really question.
That's all I wanted was the board. I didn't know if I need to take this out. Just wanted to show off the insert because there is an insert.
Yep, and it's good.
So there you go. Really simple.
I mean, it's
deep.
serviceable. Does what it
Pretty
needs to
simple.
do.
You know, doesn't need to do anything too crazy. Holds all the big pieces here. No, holds all the big pieces here. That makes more sense. And then the rule book here. Am I doing this right?
Don't let Dan put your games away.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you can see now, we've shown you this. Yes, this is literally the bottom of the box that everything builds
Yep.
on top of. Always
Yep.
cool when
Yeah, I
they
like the-
integrate the
I love it.
boxes
I like the little
into the
things
games.
along
Yep.
the side. Cute.
Yeah,
Oh,
it does a nice thing. It again, nice table presence. I mean, the components are all really good. The art is what it is. The acrylic standees. When I saw pictures, I was like, are those acrylic standees and not just? And they are. And this is like a thing that is starting to come around in games, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I mean, cardboard standees are fine, right? But the acrylic ones look better. You know, the art is vibrant. You can kind of see through them a little bit.
They seem to
and-
stand better.
And the standees also make a lot of sense, right? Because
It's the direction.
the
you see.
direction your mole's nose, right? It's the direction that they are going in, so it makes it nice and clear. I mean, you could have done it with miniatures, but these are cool, look
Yep.
nice, and
Worked just fine.
yeah, work really well. Again, the score pad's really easy and straightforward. Scoring is very easy and straightforward, makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
I don't think we ever really had any problems with any of this, learning it and playing it.
Nope.
Like, so no snags there. That's a huge bonus. even whether you like the game or not, the fact if you can learn it out of the box relatively quickly, and
Not
every
like Google like searches. Like
yeah, and
rules, questions,
everybody picked it up relatively quick. There wasn't anything like, oh, I didn't know how that worked, and now I'm all like kerfuffled because I planned my move completely different and wrong. It's like, no, there was none of
You're
that.
just kerfuffled because Spencer got in your way.
Yeah, yeah, and that's fine. That's
program movement.
nature.
Right.
Yeah.
Be ready to play with absolute morons. That's just you're going to plan your turn out perfectly, and then someone's going to do a move that you think makes no sense.
What are you doing that for?
You're like, that literally hurts you, and they're like, whoops. Like, it's going to happen.
Womp womp. But anyway, so we're all gonna review this. We're gonna Dan. How do we do this review?
Well, we're each going to give it a rating of 1 to 10 to give you our personal opinions, and that way, if you relate to one of our gaming styles more, you might agree with us more. But then we're going to average them together and give you one score, so that places like Board Game Geek, Discord, Facebook, anywhere where someone asks our score, we're just going to give the one score because that's way easier than listing 4 scores every time someone asks for it. The Board Game Rundown will give it a single rating. Who do you want to go first?
Spencer.
I knew it was
Sounds
gonna
about
be me.
right. You tend to go first a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Like
I
that deer in
have-
the headlights look you give me when I call on you.
Like, no. I don't have anything else to add. Everything's been said about the game, and I think it might overstay its welcome just a little bit. I think around
long.
round 4, we were like, it should end now.
Not even it should end now, but like, are we close to the end?
Yeah.
Like, it just started feeling
Yeah.
like it didn't even feel like it should end. Like as in if it was overstaying its welcome. Sorry, just my opinion. But it felt like it just naturally should end now, and we were like, oh, there's 2 more rounds left, and it didn't feel like the two last rounds like dragged or anything like that.
No.
They played the same length. They went fast. It was over, and then we scored. But like at the end of the 4th round, I literally thought the game was over because it just felt good. It felt like a good length for this game.
Sure.
And then we just kept going, and that's
Yeah,
totally
that's
fine.
how it goes. So I would kind of waffling between a 7.5 and an 8. I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay.
All right, Daniel.
So this was my first just straight programming game.
Oh yeah,
I've
that's
talked
right.
about this on the show a lot. I've played as the birds in Root, and I think that's literally the only hardcore programming system I've done. Like, there might be some there's a worker placement game that has a tiny programming mechanic in it that's not coming to mind or something, but
Sure.
as far as just programming game, this was the first one for me. And I was looking forward to it, and it was fun. I like programming. I mean, again, it sucks when you play with people that aren't as smart as you, but
When did you read your mind? It was like the other time you played.
but I had a really good time with it. I as I said, I was like the one that out loud said is the game not over? When we were
Right.
playing. So I felt like it overstayed its welcome slightly, but not to a detriment. Just like it felt like it naturally should have ended 2 rounds ago or a round ago, right?
Sure. Which effectively would have been 10 minutes?
Right. You're right. Well, 2 rounds, a little longer than 10 minutes, but not long for sure.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah,
just
but,
context.
But I enjoyed it. I liked the theme. It was funny. Again, I really like spatial games, and I really like Chopper Strike, which is just it looks so much like Chopper Strike. It's really nice.
I love the box. Is the game.
But so I'm actually going to fall on a 7.5. I enjoyed the game. I would recommend the game. It's a fun, lighter programming game that has a really funny theme. I mean, we didn't even talk about that, but just the fact that your moles digging around there and running into rocks and getting disorienting and seeing your friends and be like, hey man, just don't get in my way. The theme is just funny. I like it.
It's just cute little thing going on.
So yeah, I'll give it a 7.5.
All right, Bob, what do you got?
Well, most everything has been said already. I do like how these are extra thick cardboard,
they
so
are.
they
That's
don't
true.
warp or nothing, especially like the ones on top. I love spatial games like this. I think it's pretty neat. Like Spencer, I'm kind of waffling between the 7.5 and the 8. I think I'm gonna go with the 8 also. Like I like the program movement. I like that aspect of it. I wish there were more games that had some program movement in it. And I had a lot of fun with it. It helps that I won. That's probably why I got the 8 instead of
The bump, the winning bump.
But I got the winning bump. So I'm
Point
gonna
for
come down to an
winning.
8 for it.
Wait a minute, I lost. 7.
So, yeah, I mean, everything we covered. The one thing that really shines for me with this game, and it is something that, it doesn't make or break a game for me, but it always helps, is table presence and good components, right? If we were at a convention playing this, or even at a big get-together, playing this game, people are going to stop and look around
See what's going on.
and see what's going on and everything. And that's always kind of fun, right? When you got a game that's going on. And So yeah, I mean, components wise, this really hits it out of the park, right? Component wise, gameplay is relatively light, but not in a bad way, because I feel like that this is a very good entry level, like program movement kind of game that you could play with kids and family, right? Like, but there's enough strategy and there's enough stuff because because the other players are so much getting in your way potentially, that there is a lot of like the other gamers kind of thing, right? Which can make it way more interesting. So all those things I really like. I think that you're right, Dan. There's room for more in this game.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
It doesn't need it, but I think it would up the fun for me.
Exactly. Sure. Doesn't need it, but it wouldn't hurt, right? Again, though, I keep looking at the components. I'm like, oh, it all looks so good. I was so pleased, like pulling it out, and it's just like nice chunky bits, like tactile wise, like it's all very satisfying.
I've been sitting there playing with it because it feels nice.
Yeah. No, I really like it. This is a very solid 8.
Yeah.
I enjoy program movement games. I don't have a ton of them. This is probably my 3rd or 4th one, but this will get a lot of playing time, you know. So like this is one that was well made. I think you do want to make sure you shuffle these really well.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
There was one round came out like no turns at all.
There were 2 turns in the whole 20 cards, whatever it is.
Yeah, 20 cards.
And no one noticed, I guess, but me at first, because I said, well, I'm going to take a turn before they all disappear, and everyone went, oh!
Yeah.
It was great. But there was a good amount of, I guess, before we close out really quick, there was a good amount of, like you were hinting at that we didn't really go into, of reading the other players, remembering what each player took and what order they're probably going to put that in. Like in the last round, I knew Bob had a rock. I knew he was going to use it against me. So how do I put my stuff in the order that would best play around that? And I guessed perfectly. And then Tim was just like, hey, Dan, how you doing?
What's going on?
Tim, no.
What'd you call me over? Let me come over there. What? I didn't hear you. What'd you say? You're like, don't come over here. Okay,
Come over here.
Let me get over there and let's talk about this. Yeah.
But there's definitely a tactic here that you were hinting at that is there.
Yeah, it's definitely there.
So if you take all of our scores and average them together, 7.9.
Yeah, that's
pretty
really
solid.
good. That's
Good
really
job,
good.
guys.
Nice family weight game. With a little bit more, like I could see playing this with like Pat and Julia and some of those other like heavy gamers.
Oh yeah,
and like
really kind of getting into like the strategy of it.
Yeah,
the playing off of each other here and the spatial element here, I think, are definitely enough for mid-weight gamers. I don't want to say heavy gamers, right? But like, it's not going to feel like just a kid game to someone who really gets into
exactly,
it,
exactly. It's definitely more than a kid's game, but it could be a kid's game.
Yeah,
you could
kids can definitely play it.
You could play it as a kid's game, and
will destroy them.
Stomp them in the ground. Back in the ground where you
Play
go,
other
ball.
kids.
That's because Spencer can't control himself.
No, I can't. My daughter
Losing
thoroughly.
Billet's character.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
She's gonna kill people,
but with
Starting with
character.
him.
with character. But yeah, so this is Mountains Out of Molehills from the Op. And for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I've been Spencer.
I was Dan.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.